Welcome, mindful performers. Today's topic is why I decided to try being a vegetarian and why I ended up sticking with it. Many years ago, I was coming up on my 40th birthday and I had made a lot of changes, as you've seen in my video around the 5 changes to lose weight and keep it off, or to lose 40 pounds. I talk about that a lot. It was a significant change in my life. One of the activities I would do to keep myself on track is that I would watch motivational movies on Saturday evenings just to keep myself motivated. I'd watch movies like Happy or I Am, which I highly recommend. I Am. It's by Tom Shadyac. He's the director of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, other movies that you wouldn't expect somebody to direct an inspirational spiritual movie based on the movies that he had written, but some of the best movies or comedic movies that you've ever seen were directed by Tom Shadyac. And he also directed the movie I Am, which is very motivational and really puts things in perspective. Anyway, Saturdays, that was my night. I would grab a 6-pack of beer, I'd have some dessert, I would sit down and I would watch these different movies. Hungry for Change was one I watched on a regular basis. Food Incorporated, Food Matters, those are all excellent movies that you can watch to keep yourself on track. One evening, I was sitting there watching Amazon streaming in the living room, and sometimes when you stop a video, it will suggest another video that you might like. It says, hey, you might like this because of the movies that you've been watching. And the movie that popped up was called Vegucated. And I thought, it sounds kind of interesting. Following 6 New Yorkers as they try being a vegetarian for 6 weeks. At first, it was pretty funny. It started off kind of humorous. It was late when I started watching it, and I thought, well, I can get through it. You know, it's Saturday. I don't have to get up early. You know, so I'm kicking back, I'm watching it. I rarely ever fall asleep during movies, but for some reason I fell asleep during this movie, and it was kind of goofy. They were eating Doritos because those are supposedly vegetarian, and following these 6 people around New York. Well, I woke up at a part where they were showing some of the ways we process meat. And I thought, whoa, how did we go from people joking around, eating Doritos in their apartment, trying to find vegetables to eat, to, this kind of shock and awe footage. Waking up to it, I thought, well, I've got to see how we actually ended up going from nacho cheese to the animals being killed. It was a shocking transition for me. So I rewound the movie all the way back to the beginning and watched it, and nobody really, well, maybe some people sit down to watch, how we process our meat. However, I hadn't planned on it. I thought I didn't really realize what I was getting into. But I will say it was done in a way that showed the mechanized way that we look at our food and how we really take any respect or any dignity away from the animals. Now, that's not why I decided to try. What really got to me was when they talked about the energetic change and the hormonal change that happen when you kill an animal. I ate meat, I loved meat, I still miss certain types of meat, filet mignon, bacon, I love that stuff. But the way they presented it with the energetic shift in the body, in the cells, when you kill an animal, there's no way to kill something that does not change its chemical composition, its energetic composition. It's an instant occurrence. It occurs through every cell in that animal or animal's body. Just presented some of the facts around how we process it. It presented some of the facts about how it changes the meat that you're eating when we kill an animal. It challenged you to try being a vegetarian for 2 weeks. Well, I decided I'm going to give that a shot, but not right away because I had some bacon in the fridge and didn't want to waste the bacon. Had that for Saturday morning breakfast, and then it was Super Bowl Sunday coming up, so I thought, well, I'm going to eat every type of meat under the sun. And I did. I made beer brats, I made steak, I made tri-tip, I think I made hamburgers. I was just about sick when I was done with Super Bowl Sunday because of all the meat that we bought and cooked. And then I gave it a try for 2 weeks. I really didn't mind the change. I still ate eggs, I still ate cheese, I wasn't going vegan. There's a big difference. But I did cut out all red meat, all chicken, all fish. Have been eating that way since 2013. It's been a little over 4 years. I will tell you that My cholesterol is 124 the last time I had it checked. That is with, if you watch my Guilty Pleasures video, you know I kind of go to town on certain foods on the weekend, ice cream, chocolate, things of that nature. For whatever reason, the way I'm eating the rest of the time and cutting out the meat, my cholesterol is really low, lower than I think it had ever been, probably since I was 21 years old. I have plenty of energy. Obviously, you want to look into supplements if this is something you want to try. I do suggest looking into, what do you need to add in from a vitamin perspective. There's all sorts of things to look at. It is a major lifestyle change, but I would encourage you to think about some of the programs that we have been fed around meat. Many of us believe that we need meat to operate at a high level or to perform at a high level, and that's simply not true. We've seen multiple athletes be able to perform at a very high level, even eating vegan, without eggs or cheese or honey or anything like that. It's been proven that you can perform without meat. I think a lot of times we have to ask ourselves, well, where is this belief coming from, and is it truly something I want to hang on to? And since then, there's a movie that has come out, if you want some other reasons to try being a vegetarian, tied to the longevity of the earth and the sustainability of this planet. If you look at the way we raise cattle and the amount of land that it takes to process cattle, you'll see that it's not very sustainable. Even if it's pasture raised and all this stuff, that sounds good in practice. With the population the way it is and the amount of meat that we currently eat, that's not even sustainable. And the amount of pollution that goes into the water, into the land, when we raise meat in this way is very detrimental to the planet that we live on. Cowspiracy is a movie that came out relatively recently that I did not watch until I had been vegetarian for 3 years, and I'll tell you, it opened my eyes to a lot of the dangers and the harm that meat production does to the planet. Just another reason to give it a shot. I will say that I don't go around preaching to be vegetarian, but I do get asked by people why I tried or why I became a vegetarian and why I still am a vegetarian. So don't expect me to give you this type of lecture or try to convince you to be a vegetarian. If we ever go to lunch together, it's not going to happen. I just don't do it. I will tell you why I did the change and made the change, and I will tell you some of the concerns I have around the way that meat is processed today. If for some health reason I ever had to go back and eat meat, I would definitely change where I bought it, the type of meat I bought. I would look at how it was raised, how it was processed, because those are all really important to me at this point with the knowledge that I've gained. Please subscribe to be notified of other videos. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you, and don't forget to eat your cantaloupe.